What's going on, Thompson'S Kennels? Doing a smoke alarm replacement. Got a bad short on one. Doing a swap out. I'm gonna do a three-phase motor video because I had somebody asking me about three-phase motors. I'm gonna tag that one on, but this one is more or less about dogs. In this video, I'm going to discuss a couple of things. We're going to talk about the refining process. We're going to talk about advertisement. And I may just stay on them two topics. But there's no way to shortcut the refining process on dogs. Don't ever, and I'm going to preference my comments by saying this. There's a lot of American Pit Bull Terrier channels popping up. I enjoy a lot of them. I believe people are putting out great knowledge, great info. They're having great conversation that needs to be had with these dogs that normally don't get, or not. We have these conversations like me and my buddies and shit, but they're not on a display where people can hear it that are not truly known about dogs, or they're not in the dog world per se. So always remember, your channel is reaching people that may just be getting into this breed, that just may be learning about it. So you have a responsibility on a level to put out the correct information in the correct aspect of the information you're giving out. Let's just get that clear. That's why you never heard me on video talking badly about anybody's blood or anybody's kennel. I can't say all off top of my head, Jeep dogs are trash except from this, for these people that have it. That would be my personal opinion. And if I preference that, saying that's my personal opinion, I still wouldn't make that comment, because let's just say there's fucking Billy out here in the woods with Jeep dogs, and he's refining his blood and he's putting it out there. By me saying that comment, I shit on Billy in the woods, even though me and Billy may have never met. By me saying those comments is putting it in the atmosphere that those dogs aren't producing, or they're not producing at a high level. You can only speak for what you put your hands on, and then you still can't speak for it on that. Because if I put my hands on 50 Red Boy Jocko dogs, that does not make me an expert on Red Boy Jocko dogs. It's hundreds, thousands of them out there. Always believe there's somebody somewhere with a strand of dogs that they're running that they just not, nobody may not know of them. There's connoisseurs in this breed, because I always speak about in my older videos the old chain link concept of how it used to be, where you had a breeder, a conditioner, and a handler. All of these guys played a critical role in producing some of the great dogs that you hear about today. The breeder played an intricate part because he had the knowledge on the parents. He had an idea and a vision of what he was trying to put together when he did that breeding. He was looking at the physical attributes. He was looking at the traits. And when people say traits, let's skip past gameness for a while, because everybody loves that word gameness, and it is an intricate part in breeding dogs. How you check gameness is up to you. People go hog hunting, people go coon hunting, people go badger hunting. There's so many ways to check dogs to see if they're going to quit when they get tired. That's why I said a lot of the shit you see back then, in the historical aspect, you could see it before it even got to the box. You could see it in the dog. He may have a hard ass mouth, but if this shit go past 10 minutes, he's gonna stop, because that's in his nature to do that. But he still has a hard ass mouth. If I could get something with some wind to go to that mouth, oh man, I'm set up like swimwear, baby. That was the thought process of how a lot of things went. That's why I said every dog has a purpose and a program. Everything may not knock your socks off, but at the same time, it has a purpose in a breeder's program, because he knows when he's lacking something. Let me slow it down. You could have, just say I had a yard of superior dogs. Let's say not even a yard. Let's say I had 5 superior dogs as far as athleticism, wind, and gameness. But they're all dumb as shit. Dumb. Can't stay focused. But I got this one dog over here that's an average dog. But one thing about this dog that I know proven to be true, that it is superiorly intelligent. But all the other attributes are average. I'm not going to implicate that dog to fix what I need to fix with the rest of the dogs. I got intelligence, but everything else is average. But if we're going to go to that lane, you got to realize certain dog men have a different science to what they're doing. Some people were brought up underneath other people, and what they learned from under that tutelage is what they live by. There's certain people who learn by trial by error. They had nobody to teach them this, that, and the third. Everything they learned was by trial by fire. Either it worked or it didn't work. They documented it, moved on to the next thing. Okay? The breeder, the conditioner, and the handler. All of these men played a huge part in the dogs that you see today that are historic, that you love. Where the game got fucked up is when the conditioner and the handler tried to become the breeder. And the breeder tried to be the conditioner and the handler. Stay in your lane. If you do one thing at a high level, that's your gift. Everybody ain't cut out to condition animals. Just like everybody ain't cut out to breed animals. Know your lane and fit in it. You have people who cannot produce dogs. Let's just keep it real. There's people out here who, if they can try all they want, they can research. Is not a gift for them to put solid animals together and keep producing solid animals. That is a true gift. People who can do that, because people, let me hit you with the knowledge, because I'm gonna give it to you for free today. Great breeders are great breeders. I'm gonna repeat that again. Great breeders are great breeders. You can take them out the pit bull community and drop them in the Rockwaller community, and they would be great breeders. Let that sink in. Some people know what they're doing. Some people have an eye for dogs. That is a God-given gift. And people really need to recognize that. Mathematics is such a key, essential thing in this, because the same people who say people are breeding for pedigrees, and I said this in videos years ago, so this ain't something that's coming up now, something I've been said in videos years ago. I guess I wasn't that popular back then, and they didn't hit on it like they hit on videos now. But what is a pretty pedigree? No one has yet to fucking tell me that answer yet. So if I got a pedigree with a fortress of producing dogs in it, that's a pretty pedigree? Or is that a pedigree with a bunch of producing dogs? I'm waiting. You know, we got to keep it 100 when we talking about levels, because we're influencing the next generation of dog men and dog women out there. We just can't say this dog is this, because I don't know no dog throughout history that you can breed him and every time you breed him, he's going to throw 100% aces on the ground. Every dog. I don't care if he has 5 or 10. He's just going to consistently throw aces. There's no dog in history that has done that. No matter where you go to purchase your animal from, and especially if you're going through it with the mindset of creating a yard or trying to become a breeder, there's no way to shortcut the refining process. No matter how much money you spend, no matter where you get that blood from, you still have to refine it. Me and A.P.B.T for the love of the game, we was having a conversation last night. There's mathematics involved in shit. Everything is mathematics involved. I can breed a great dog and I can put it into a person's hands who's not a dog man, and the dog will be average. Every dog does not receive the same care, service as the other dog. That's why when people start talking about pretty pedigrees and peddling, I think all of you guys are ignorant. On that level, when you start talking about it in a derogatory fashion, because let's keep it 100. None of these dogs were ever coming in on 100% equal playing field. If this guy is a better conditioner than I am, and he has tips and tricks and secrets that he's doing when he works his animals that I'm not doing, his animal is coming into the contest at a higher level rate than my animal would be. Does that mean blood has anything to do with this? No. I could have a game animal, he could have a game animal. But his twist on the situation varies the mathematical equation of what happens in that contest. And that's always the play. We've seen, you can go through history. There's draws, but there's usually a winner and a loser. If you've been around long enough, you've seen dogs that just were better dogs, but they just weren't in shape as the other dog. So from that contest, the dog that lost, he never gets promoted, even though he is conditioning and his upkeep wasn't up to par as the other animal that won. But that animal that won, he gets plastered everywhere across God's green earth, and everybody chases puppies after this dog. You kind of get what I'm saying? It's an advertisement level to it as well. Blood is blood. The refining process of the blood, which includes the upbringing, the conditioning, the work that's put in that animal, and it's sad to say every animal doesn't get that fair shake. There's some animals that just go into shitty people's hands that they will never peak out performance-wise. But to say, we'll go back again. Billy in the woods, he has his Jeep dogs that he's refined. He puts one of them dogs in somebody's hands who has no idea what they're doing. Is that a reflection of Billy, or is that a reflection of the person that he sold the dog to? You get what I'm saying? It's levels to it. It's mathematics. There's no shortcutting the refining process, no matter where you get your dogs from or how much money you spend from dogs. Like, I'm just going to stick with Jeep because we'll just use him as the example for this video. He was a great dog. But at the same time, if somebody who had his blood and was refining it for 25, 30 years, can they eventually get a better version of him? Yes. Yes. It's very mathematical, equation-wise, it's very possible of happening. That's why it's called refining. Because I don't know anybody who wants a duplicate of just one dog. I can't even say that because some people don't think along those lines, but there's always looking for a better version of what you had. I had Hustle Man. He was a great, phenomenal dog, but I'm still looking for a better version of him. I believe Ghost Man is a better version of Hustle Man. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, way smarter. So, and essentially, I'm progressing the program. You know, it's levels to it. It's so many levels to it. It's so hard to just explain certain shit. But you just need to understand the refining process, the advertisement aspect of it, and what's really going on in these streets. Because like I said, there's people who buy dogs because they can't make good dogs. They have to go someplace to buy it because they're not gifted to make the dogs. Everybody acts as if so much thought process was gone into some of these dogs from history. Some of them breedings were just fluke-ass breedings. If you ask those guys, hey, did you think you was going to make a Jocko? No, me and him just did the breeding, and it turned out we got that great dog off the litter. There's flukes. A broken clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is correct twice a day. We all know people who've done breedings and got phenomenal dogs, but we know they don't even know shit about dogs. It happens. That's why I say chase consistency. But consistency isn't labeled to one thing. Just because this guy has frozen semen does not mean he's the most consistent. I will always pick, if I had an opportunity to get a puppy from Jeep and or a puppy from somebody who refined the blood for 15 years, and I actually seen the dogs get better. You get what I'm saying? It's levels to it. It's always levels. And this is getting kind of long, but let's talk about advertisement. I got Garner dogs, not pure Garner dogs. Everybody's a fan of that Proud Mary dog I got. She's 50% Garner on the bottom, 50% Boyles on the top. The bottom half is off the Hickson stuff, the TERRIER'S stuff. The Jasmine Carmelo breeding was what produced Ciroc. Ciroc is a solid dog. She's the mother to Proud Mary, and of course she's a direct daughter off of Manny, which was pretty much a Boyles Allen Bell breeding that they did to produce that animal. Garner changed the dynamic of the dogs. I believe he did it in a way to almost help the breed. Some people you talked about 20 million people and they'll give you 20 million aspects, but he changed the marketing of the dogs. He changed a lot of levels. He made it where a person who had no connections to anybody in dogs, they could pick up the phone, call him, and get a reputable animal off of a reputable breeding. So he changed the entire market, which was genius if you stand back and think about it. Because if he'd have listened to everybody who's, I don't sell puppies, I'm not a peddler, blah, 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 all that horse shit, he took it an entirely different route. He made the dogs available to the public, which essentially kept the breed alive. Because even if he was selling dogs to the public, if one puppy out of every litter went into a legit dog man's hands who was able to uplift and refine the blood, that keeps the breed going. That's how the breed stays alive. If everybody tucks everything in the woods and hides and acts like this is the last of the last, the breed doesn't progress. It becomes a situation where there's just a group of people just controlling the traffic of the blood. The blood doesn't get a chance to be refined, possibly outcrossed, because some stuff is better outcrossed than inbred and line bred. Another mathematical equation for you. Another level that you have to think about. Certain things work down to percentages. But he changed the market forever with dogs. And now a lot of people try to blueprint what he did now, what he did back then now. So, like I said, I don't knock the man. I honestly respect game. That's just what it is. Because if anybody, half of these people talk shit, if they could trade places with him, they would. He took the game, and it's almost like the drug game. Imagine if the weight man said, I'm not selling weight no more, and I'm just going to bust everything down to nickels and sell it myself. That's what happened. And I mean, it is what it is. I have the blood. Ain't a knock on him. The blood's working great for me. It's working great. Like I said, I don't have pure renditions of it. I have it put together with my Boyles stuff. But it works at a high level, so I can't take away nothing from that man. But yet again, that's just the advertisement part of it. But focus on getting good dogs is what I'm trying to sum up to. Don't believe all the shit that you hear. Because like I said, depending on who you're listening to and how they came up in dogs is what you, like I said, you can't believe what everybody says 100%, but take the stuff that makes sense and formulate your own plan to be successful. That's why I said every channel I learn a little bit of something from. Do I take everything wholeheartedly, like, oh, that's the way, or no, this guy's the way? Nah, I take little parts that make sense and I keep those. And the stuff that I don't really agree with, I throw to the trash side. And that's how I keep my stuff going. You know what I mean? Depending on who you talking to, I came up underneath some hard men that dealt with dogs. Like I told you, 15 months, they're expecting to see a lot. I took that formula from them, and I know it wasn't working out for me because it just wasn't working. It wasn't adding up. The refining process has to be involved with that thought process. So I'm just giving a specific date that this dog is supposed to be this. Doesn't work like that. What if it's 16 months? That dog turns out to be a phenomenon instead of 15. What do you do then? You know what I mean? Let's keep it 100. So, good dogs are where you find them. And I'll repeat that again. Good dogs are where you find them. Spent money on high dollar dogs that were average. I spent less money with people that weren't as popular and got high level, high caliber dogs. It's where you find it. There's nothing 100. I keep saying this shit to everybody. It's nothing 100%. You can have a motherfucker on YouTube screaming, I got proven stock. So if this dog don't check out, you gonna give me my motherfucking money back? Or you gonna turn around and say it was me? It was my fault. You have all the fucking answers. You got it. Everything's off of proven stock. So that essentially means everything that these dogs should throw should turn out to be high caliber animals. But we both know that's not the truth. It's the farthest thing from the fucking truth. Because if that was the case, it would be no Gary Hammonds of the world. Don Mayfield made a video and trashed the man. Oh, he used to buy all our cur dogs. Now everybody running around with Gary Hammond shit. Let's keep it 100 if we're going to keep it 100. The formula is predicated on what works for you, the bloodlines of dogs you have, and what's been showing consistency through the refining process. That's how this game is played. So don't ever think, oh, I can spend this amount of money and I'm 15 steps ahead of everybody else. That ain't the truth. Because you can spend that money and get that high caliber dog, and it could, not even high caliber, you can spend that money and get that dog that nobody else has or whatever. There's always another dog that's going to be out here that's going to be able to outwork that dog. And it may come from a person that ain't no big time dog man. It may come from a person who just did it as a hobby for 10, 20 years in his backyard. But he's producing animals that will outwork that $5,000, $7,000 dog that you purchase. That's why I never downplay blood. I never downplay dog men. I don't fucking do it. I don't talk bad about blood. I don't talk bad about anything, because mathematics, again, for me to make those accusations or say certain things, I would have to be coming with you with 100% proof. And that's not the truth. I can't say all of these dogs aren't producing. I can't say the levels are not producing. It may just be the people you dealt with that had the blood that ain't produced when you seen it. But it could be 50 motherfuckers in the woods who had that blood and it's been working for them for 30, 40 fucking years, but nobody knows, because everybody's in the dogs for different things. Some people are in it to make money. Some people actually love the process of going through these dogs and doing the breedings and raising the dogs and placing dogs, even if they don't keep all of them, placing the dogs in the best situations for them to be successful to get the input. I deal with a very small group of people, but in my group of people, we communicate with each other. We have these conversations. How is this working out for you so far? What are you seeing in them dogs? I got 3 over here that I have. I'm seeing this. Okay, we build together. It helps with the refining process. It helps take the load off of me, because as you see, I work a full-time job. It's impossible for me to keep every puppy off of every single litter. So I have to put them dogs in situations where I know there's not going to be a drop-off of the care from me. So I put them in people's hands who think and move like I move, so I know the dogs get a fair shake. It's levels to it. And like I said, I like all of the A.P.B.T channels that are out here promoting the breed, but let's everybody take a step back. Stop taking shit personal. Nobody's word is law. If you ask my input, that's my input. But that doesn't mean what I'm saying is law. It's an opinion. It's like an asshole. Everybody has one. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But when you voice your opinion publicly, people will have a response to say back to you. There's people who are getting into these dogs for the first time and are looking at these channels as a way to learn. And y'all guys always got to keep that in mind. Something that you think, and then you put it out there, and it could be just dog man talk, but you're influencing possibly another generation of people that's getting into these dogs. And some of the logic behind how certain people think is not accurate across the board. That way of thinking might have worked for you and your program, but that may not have worked for Billy in the Woods. You get what I'm saying? So everybody keep teaching, everybody keep preaching, everybody keep, because the game dogs are coming back in a big way now. They're coming back in a big way. And the worst thing at this point is for everybody to start beefing, because it reflects the community. I grew up in this community. I know all of the bullshit that takes place in this community. All of the motherfuckers who like to talk shit, run their mouth, say everybody's peddling. I know those motherfuckers. They have a place in the community. They don't need to be abolished. They have a place in the community, but their voice needs to be controlled. Because what they say isn't fucking law. It ain't law for me, and it shouldn't be law for anybody else unless you want to take it that fucking way. But that's just me giving y'all what I feel about certain topics that's been going on. I hope all of y'all have a blessed day. And like I said, if you're not open to debate, don't make videos and comment on shit, because everybody doesn't agree with what I think or my logic. Everybody's not going to agree with this guy. Everybody's not going to agree with that guy. But it is open for discussion if you put it out there on a public platform. It is open for discussion. So everybody stay blessed. Everybody love your dogs. Keep pushing. And like I say, Rome wasn't built overnight. You just don't buy a dog from this guy and you're 20 steps ahead of everybody else. There's no shortcut in the refining and cultivation process in these dogs. There's just no way around it. Y'all have a blessed one.